It's a
Welcome,
monster movie.
welcome back to the O Brother Pod. Yeah, it's War of the Gargantuans here on TV 38. What was it? Creature Double Feature, which
Yes.
we talked about that in the
Yeah, a long
on the
time ago.
episode a long time ago. Yeah, we referenced that. So, anyways, welcome back to the O Brother Podcast. We are live. Don't adjust your sets. We're live, and man, do we have a topic tonight we want to talk about?
Well,
Now,
I've
I titled.
mentioned
You don't know
this.
this. I titled it Disney
The
and creative bankruptcy, folks.
oh, okay. You
That's what
changed
I've.
the title because it was the death of Disney.
Well, that was just for the teaser, but
Okay.
yeah.
Now,
So
and I hope Disney fans are tune in to see this and don't think we're haters because and we'll get into that.
okay, all righty.
No, we'll get into it.
Yeah, we'll get into that. So that's the topic. But before we get into this, we and look, we get a quick shout out to Paul, who is as we said on the last live stream, the number one O Brother podcast supporter at this point. So
It's
Paul, we
wicked
love ya.
awesome.
It's wicked. Yeah, it's wicked pissa. It's
Wicked
wicked pissa, Paul.
Yeah,
is what it is.
that's one we used to say more.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So, but before we get into it, I wanted to mention, the power of marketing. Okay. I'm not one of these, you see a commercial and then I'm like, duped into buying, the Flowbee or whatever, doing my hair with a vacuum.
I still use the Flowbee.
Do you? Well, I think that's pretty evident.
That's why I'm always
pretty evident.
That's why I'm always messing with my hair.
You're using the Flowbee. Paul, good to see you, my friend, as always. We got our expert
Andrew
podcast
it's
production
time for
assistant.
Andrew to
Andrew, yeah, I think you got to add him to that list.
he's
Yeah,
on
we
the
got
list.
something coming for you, Andrew. Drop that address to me in an email, and we'll hook you up. But listen, so I'm saying I'm not one of these to watch a commercial and rush out to the store and get the latest whatever it is. But Flex Seal or all that nonsense.
Yeah, I used to have that guy's voice down.
Yeah, that's
Flex
a good.
Seal. You can ride a boat.
Are you doing
Seal.
cream eggs?
I don't know.
Almost Easter.
I lost
It's almost
it.
Easter.
I lost it.
Here's a trivia question. Do you remember that guy's name that did those commercials?
Oh man, he was in movies.
Yeah,
Cream eggs
by Cadbury. Because when the Easter Bunny's gone,
they're gone.
And he did Hidden Valley Ranch was the big.
He was in
the other commercial that he
FX2.
did.
You remember that movie with Brian Dennehy and the Australian guy? Forget
Yes.
FX and FX2.
Yeah. So anyways, Saturday night, this commercial comes on. It's an Apple commercial. Now, in full transparency, we're both Apple files, right?
You more than me. I was a PC guy.
Yeah.
And then you turned me on to Apple.
Yeah, I think I've got you beat there. So I see this commercial. It's called something. You can see it on YouTube. It's like quiet the noise or something like this. And it starts off, this girl's walking down the street. Actually, you don't even see that. What you see is people, there's like a garbage truck, right, floating in the air. Then you see like a barking dog's kind of in the sky, and
I haven't seen
all these other things, right? And you quickly realize, first of all, it's a commercial for AirPods, the wireless, earphones that they sell for Apple.
And you jumped in the car?
Well, and what it was they have a noise canceling feature, right? And so she has it turned on. So everything that's creating noise around her goes away. And they represent that by showing everything up in the sky. And then you can hold the stem of one of the AirPods and turn the noise canceling feature off. And when she did that, everything fell back to earth. And all of a sudden the sounds of the city kicked in, and the street cars.
Can I use this in the movies to block out all the popcorn crunchers? And
yeah, you absolutely can.
Really?
Well, check it out. So the next day, my girlfriend and I were out for breakfast, and I said, hey, I want to stop by Best Buy after we're done. Okay. And so we walk, we go over to Best Buy. And I said, this is probably going to be an impulse buy. And she go, okay. I said, it's an expensive item. She's like, oh, okay. I walk in, I'm in there 5 minutes. I'm out of there with a brand new pair of second generation AirPod Pros. Now, I'm going to tell you, I have not had noise canceling, headphones before. This was creepy. I literally put them in, and I left my apartment yesterday. I couldn't hear the door close. I couldn't hear myself walking. I couldn't it's a
Couldn't hear
little
your cat dying.
yeah, I couldn't hear someone coming up behind me getting ready to murder me. It's like but it's really incredible, and the technology is just phenomenal, and I told you, I said, they have this thing where, with spatial audio, and when you set up the AirPods, I know it sounds like an advertisement for Apple right now, it's not, I'm getting
I know, where's the topic?
there's a point, but you scan your face and your ears so that anywhere you're looking, no matter where you're looking, the sound follows you.
Unlike this mic,
Yeah,
which
I
doesn't
it's
follow
it's
me.
just phenomenal, and as I said to you, that is an innovation that perhaps the late great Steve Jobs might have
Yeah,
been
10
proud of.
years ago, he would have had that.
Well, sure, but, okay, because 'cause we've said the iPhone has just been an embarrassment year after year since, like, the
Yes.
iPhone 6, or
Yeah,
5.
mom has the 8, and
Mhm.
when you put it next to my 14, I
Yeah,
don't see a difference,
yeah, yeah,
you
right.
know?
Well, so it just goes to show you, right? There's a company just through the power of marketing, they're getting it right and they know how to tune in to what the client or the customer needs or wants.
So
Am
that
I
brings
right?
us to
Now, a company that doesn't necessarily know how to do this is you can see the hat I'm wearing right here.
yes, and if you look right here, and maybe Andrew can get a shot of these,
Well, he
they're
can't do it while we're live. I mean, what are you
they're
giving him stage direction while we're
oh, I
live? I
forgot,
mean,
yeah.
geez
These are
Louise.
Disney pens, and they're upside down. You know how
Yeah.
when you're in crisis, you
Hmm.
like, when people wanna, um, protest, they turn the flag upside down, so I turn both of them upside down. Now, my wall in my room is covered. I have 4 degrees sitting on the floor collecting dust.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I've got Disney merchandise all over my walls. It
Right.
looks like a
Right.
kid's room.
Yeah, exactly. Well, all right. So here's the story.
Okay.
Okay. Now there's a history here, but let's get to the most recent story.
Yes.
Okay, which is yesterday,
Well,
right?
we can go back.
Let's go back to November. Let's
Okay.
go back to November. So November, you and I have been talking about a return trip for you down here to sunny Florida.
Yeah.
And so we finally work out the dates and you buy a plane ticket, you schedule the trip in November. I've got time off from work, the whole bit, the day gig. And we both get COVID,
The same
like
literally,
almost at the same time.
right, you called me and
Yeah,
said, "You gotta cancel. I got
right.
COVID," and I take a picture. I had just taken the test
Yeah,
and was positive.
right. And
So,
so
that trip was over.
trip was canceled. And so we talked to Disney because I had bought a single day ticket. I'm an
Correct.
annual pass holder. Okay,
Yes.
just to put that out there. And I'm an annual pass holder for Universal. That'll come into play later. I bought a single day ticket for you so we could go hop around the parks. So they said, yeah, ticket's still good. That money will be there in the account when you're ready and you reschedule the dates. So fast forward, we finally figure out some new dates. This is around the week of my birthday, and you book a new flight, right? And you're coming down in early April. So I get on the phone with
And I
Disney.
randomly picked the date.
Yes, exactly.
I just
Exactly.
randomly said, "I'll go here," knowing you had an annual pass, so it wouldn't matter.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Well, and that used to be
That
the
used to be
case.
true.
That used to be the case. Now, okay, you know, God forgive me, I didn't check on this beforehand, but after an hour on the phone with Disney customer service,
Mhm.
what we find out is the date that we had settled on to
Mhm.
go to the parks, I'm blocked out.
Yeah.
Not only am I blocked out that date, I can't go for the first couple of weeks in April. Now,
And I can.
right, I'm a Florida resident. I've been an annual pass holder for over 20 years,
Yep.
like 30 years.
Yep.
And I can't go, you're a single day ticket holder and you can, roam the
Right this
planet
way, sir.
free.
Enjoy the genie service, but it'll cost you
Right.
30 bucks.
Now, I don't know why we do this because we know better. But I'm on with like the fifth person in this
Right.
whole,
Right.
journey that I'm on. And I know it's futile that
Right.
I even have the discussions, right?
Right.
But I'm doing it anyways.
So
And
what do you
so
say?
so
I would have loved to be on that.
well, it was I always preface it by saying, look, I know this isn't your issue. Marguerite or
I I d
Esmeralda. That's a
I
real name.
I do that
Esmeralda.
after I take their head off. Then I say, "I know it wasn't you."
No, see, I don't even do that anymore. I said, look, I know this isn't your problem, but yet I still go into the diatribe about. I said, so who is that guy that I have to talk to? Who has the authority to make this
Correct.
decision? Because I was basically saying exactly what we just said, which is, okay, my brother he's got a single day ticket. He can go, but you're telling me as a pass holder I can't go. Well, the blackout days. Okay, I understand
For
that.
you to go, you
There's
would have to buy a
policies and
ticket.
yes. So and those were the options they presented me. Well, you can buy a single day ticket. I
What
said,
do you shit me?
why would I spend any more money than the hundreds of dollars I've spent on an annual
Right.
pass that I can't even use
Right.
when I want to use it?
I
Right.
mean,
And to
there
your
used
point, I used to be able to walk in there any day of the week,
365.
365, and it didn't matter. And then COVID, screwed all that up for
And if
us.
anything went wrong,
Yeah.
and I don't know if you were with me, because at least twice I went to customer service to complain about something.
Right.
Maybe it was a bad meal or, you know, Goofy grabbed my testicles, something like that.
Well, that was at one time.
That was on the news. But
That was at one
anyway,
time.
I would go to customer service and I'd say, I waited like 2 hours and it breaks down. And I wasted 2 hours.
Right.
They hand me 2 free tickets.
Mhm.
That was like common.
Yeah.
Like they didn't even hesitate. Here, sir, we're
No,
really sorry.
it appears to be now, once they get your money, they're done with you.
Yes.
They're done with you.
That's the
then we
JPEG
know,
era.
and
JPEG.
for folks that don't realize this, the jig is up. We both know, and I even said this to the woman. I said to her, and she's probably like, "Okay, what time do I clock out? Like, can I just get off of this customer service call?" I said, Disney's making money off the single day tickets. They're not making money off the pass holders
Correct.
anymore.
Correct.
And so that's
And if
that's
you
also why if I cancel my pass
Right.
or don't renew my pass, I
Exactly.
can't buy a new pass. Why? Because they're not making any money off
They
of
won't
it.
sell them anymore.
They won't sell them.
And I don't know if it's going on in Anaheim yet, but you know, Disney World is a freaking mess.
Yeah, now she
And that's
says
not all.
she says, "Well, my support team I'm in communication with," right? I'm getting all of this horse shit.
Yeah, right.
The support team that I'm in communication with tells me this, that, and the other. I said, "Okay."
Yeah,
I
same
say,
thing she just said.
so then I do the old, you'll love this. Mike, this goes back like circa 1987, which is that, okay, well then who do they report to? Right? It's the
Right.
classic.
That's me. That's me.
Your support team reports to somebody else. Is that right? I said, do I need to get in contact with Mr. Iger? Is that what needs to happen
Right.
here? I said,
Right.
because if I was his nephew or something, I'm sure that you guys would figure out a way to handle this situation or make
He'd
some
go
sort
in
of
the
exception.
side gate.
Right, exactly. And I said to her, we both know it can be done.
Right.
It's just finding someone willing to make it happen. That's
And
all.
while you were on the phone,
Yeah.
I was in a chat with
Well,
Disney.
and you and I are also at each other's throats at the
Right.
same time.
Because we're so mad.
That's another story that's going on.
Right. We're so mad.
Right.
We start fighting with each other.
Yeah.
And while you're making me more pissed off, I am writing shit to her saying, Disney is a shit show. This is
Right.
what I'm typing in the chat. I said, you are creatively bankrupt.
Yes.
You are the worst theme park in Orlando.
Yes.
I can't wait to visit Universal Studios. You suck. I'm right now. Just no one was respond. I was getting no response in the chat, so I just kept going.
This becomes, this is where it led to. I get to like the sixth person in this whole
Right.
saga, and this guy was pleasant enough, and I no issues with him. You didn't get this treatment, but everybody I talked to, have a magical day. I got that at the end of the call.
I didn't get that at the end
I
of
got
mine.
it. I actually got that every single time. But what was that? A board game?
No, this is for D23
Oh, the
members, which
D23. Yeah,
we
that's a whole
are,
nother
that's
scam that we can.
$150 they
Yeah,
scam
that's
me
another
out of.
scam. Yeah. So I'm talking to him, and same thing. Now it's three different times they say, "Oh, well, you need to talk. You can call pass holder services." I'm like, "That's the number I call." And I mean, you're in this loop, and they're passing you around.
Man,
So he says to me, "Well, I can give you an email address." I said, "Is it Disney.guestservices@disneyworld.com?" I said, "Yeah, I already have that."
yeah,
I said, "What's the point of me sending that email?" I said, "You and I both know nobody gives a shit.
right.
Nobody's going to do anything about it." He goes, "Well," and he was being genuine because I think he felt bad, but he said, "Well, it doesn't hurt to be heard." And I
Mm,
said, "Look," I said, "I'll probably send the email, but with zero expectation anything's going to come of it."
yeah.
Now, this is the email that I sent. To whom it may concern.
I would have said to
Yeah,
Bob
dear
Iger.
asswipe. Yeah.
Dear Iger.
Yeah, dear Bobby. But then they have to specify as a Chapek or Iger. But to whom it may concern, I've been coming to the Disney park since the 80s and a pass holder from the early 90s. Most recently, I renewed my annual pass in November. And that's going to come into play here as well. I purchased a single day park hopper ticket for my older brother for a trip he planned late November. We became ill and had to cancel the trip. He rescheduled to fly down to celebrate my birthday in April, rebooked his flight, and wanted to visit the parks on the 4th. Much to our dismay, he was eligible to visit, but as an annual pass holder, I could not. And then I talk about how, we really had planned and needed to go together. You weren't going to go to the parks by yourself. And
And
I was
Paul,
told there was nothing that could be done. My brother and I opted to visit Universal instead, as I am a Universal pass holder as well and eligible to go any date.
nice.
Ultimately, after suffering an incredible amount of frustration, I called the pass holder line to request to cancel my pass. I quickly learned I could not transfer nor cancel my pass.
What?
The gentleman I spoke to offered me this email address, which I was already provided previously. He said it's worth being heard, though I told him I would send the email with no expectation of receiving a reasonable solution to my concerns. So I am emailing you today to seek any resolution possible. At this point, it seems my only option is to simply let my pass expire and not renew if this is the treatment I can expect in the future as a longtime resident and pass holder. So not only all of that, right?
Why?
But
Why couldn't
I can't cancel my pass.
That's insane.
It's non-transferable. You can't cancel it. Now, Universal, you can. And I've done
Wow.
that in the past. You can
Wow.
cancel and they will prorate the amount that's
Now,
remaining.
Paul, we always pull the who's your like. I'm brutal. Danny will attest to this.
Oh, he's
I
throwing
am,
out the Danny vibes. All right.
yeah, because I am brutal when it comes to dealing with people, and I piss through the first few people. I'm like,
Yeah.
let me talk to your manager.
Can you
If
can you do them a favor and tell the quick car salesman story?
I was
Okay.
getting to that,
All right.
but I instantly, as soon as they say no, I said, who do you work for? Where's your boss? She comes, who do you work for?
Who
I get
does
to the,
number 2 work
I keep
for?
going. And if I get to the top person in the store and they still deny me, I'm like, give me your district manager's name. And I start writing it. All of a sudden, well, maybe we can work something out because they know that's death.
Yes.
And I know being in retail, if the DM got a bad response about me, I was in his office for 2 hours
Right.
getting screamed at.
Sure.
But that letter was so nice compared to what I was writing in the chat.
Absolutely.
And
No expletives, no nothing.
Right. And
You know.
Dan takes us back to Dan was buying a car.
That's right.
And I bought many cars, because of the age difference.
This was a new purchase for me,
It was a brand new car.
Mhm.
And we had this sales guy. And he kept in Florida. I don't know if they do this everywhere. They have these sucker stickers. You know how you used to look at the sticker price?
Yeah. This is
And
way
then-
before CarMax and all these other
Right.
places.
This was a while ago. But next to it is an extra sticker with add-ons. Freight charge $1,500. What? No,
Mhm.
no. You're not charging me for freight. And So I start off by saying, we're going to start with the sticker price and go down from there. Tear that piece of shit off now.
It's like Fargo. You need that true coat. You know, that true
So
coat.
I'm going at this guy and he won't lower the price. And I'm like, lower the price. We're walking. We get up. I go at him. I go at him. The guy says, what did he say? I don't
He
even
goes,
remember.
look, I got a family. I got a family to feed.
And this was my response when this guy says, I've got a family to feed. I said, you know what? You picked this job.
Yeah, you said this is the career you chose.
This is the career you chose. That's what I said to him. And
There's no comeback for that.
He started crying.
Yeah,
The guy was crying.
Didn't I buy the car for 20, like for
You
12
bought
hours?
the car. No, and we were driving around and all of a sudden
It was
you
a
were like,
Hyundai. It was a
yeah.
Hyundai. I remember.
And all of a sudden you decided, no, this isn't it.
I made a huge mistake.
Right. And you already signed the contract and everything.
Right.
Well, this was before I went to law school and I knew you can cancel a contract. Now it's like 8:45 and we're on the other side of town.
All right.
And we got to make it to this car dealership to cancel.
And Mike, another genius plan.
So I'm like, Ann, my ex-wife, call real quick, tell them that you want to come and look at a car. So she gets on the phone. She says, yeah, I'm interested in the Hyundai that
Keeps
you have.
him on the line.
Keeps him going. And I'm doing this, to her. I'm like, stretch. And you were driving, you pulled in doing like,
yeah, as fast as that car could go.
And I took the keys out of the ignition and I chucked them at them. I said, no deal, folks. Deal's off.
Oh, my God.
That's the all-time classic.
That is a classic.
Customer service. But I want to bring up Oh Father before we get more Disney in, because our dad was so insane. Yes. And I mean this in a loving way.
He would have appreciated that letter, but he would have said, "Oh, you went too soft on him, kid."
Exactly. He would have said, "You only made him cry."
You notice you notice I'm actually wearing in honor of
the USMC
Marine Corps sweatshirt.
There's nothing Dad was more proud of,
including us. But the United States Marine Corps.
In fact, if Dad was in when I made the guy cry, he would have patted me on the back and said, "That a boy, good."
Exactly.
That's how you do it, kid.
That's right.
That's how you do it, kid.
You learn from the best, kid.
So, anyways, he was insane.
Yes,
he was literally legally. I think I could have had him clipped.
Yeah,
because he used to write letters like once a week.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this one show, and people don't know what Candlepin Bowling is unless you live here.
Yeah.
Candlepin bowling, you have these little balls.
In the Northeast, I would say.
Yeah. And you get 3 shots.
Right.
And it's much tougher. I mean, if you have an average over 100.
Right.
Or like I used to be like a 105, and I was a pretty high bowler. And so Dad writes a letter. He didn't like the guy announcing the show. He said, "I hate this voice." And he would turn off the volume and still watch the bowling.
Show. Yeah.
So
that'll show him.
Yeah. He did this with numerous things. He wrote, I don't know how many letters in his life and he'd wrap it up, stamp it. Mary, mail us. Put this in the mail right now. And what he didn't know was Mom would take the letter into the deep 6 it would go. It never made it.
That show went, and you're going to love this because I pulled it out of the archives already, thanks to Google. The show went on for nearly 38 years from 1958 to 1996. And that host's name was Don Gillis.
Oh, my God.
Is that a blast?
Remember that?
Or what? Yeah, Don Gillis.
That is a blast. Bring your mic back.
Yeah, it's back.
No, I mean back towards you.
Oh, is it not?
Yeah,
okay.
Wasn't
You're losing
loud.
Me. Yeah. So this is that's just yesterday's adventure with Disney.
Now,
the end of that is that I'm screwed, right? I've got this pass now, and I wanted to cancel it because my girlfriend even said, "How is it even worth, like, how many times have you been there this year? I'm like, you're right. I've been there like twice,
Yeah. And you
which
don't
is insane.
stay. I always
I don't
stay for
stay,
the night
which was
shows.
another advantage of the past. You could come and go as you
Right.
pleased, and that made it worth it, right? Not have to fight the crowds if you didn't want to. But
Back in the
now
year,
I'm stuck. So
right,
now I have to just wait until November, let it expire, and not
be
renew
done
it.
with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I I was a pass holder since '86,
Mhm.
and I used to work a retail gig, which was like hell,
Brutal, yeah.
but every day off, I would go out to the parks every day off. Like twice a week, I would be out there,
Mhm.
and I'd go for like 2 hours, check out a couple of things, and then go home, and I thought, "Hey, it was
Yeah.
a long drive, but it was worth it."
Right.
Now, they don't have enough employees, which is part of this crowd control thing they're doing
Well,
with
it's
the
interesting
passes.
it's interesting you mentioned that because the headline today in the news here was Disney layoffs. First wave
7,000.
no, well, first wave,
Okay.
which is gonna be 4,000 employees, likely to all be let go next month is what the
Did they say
speculation is.
from the parks? The parks is the only thing making them money.
Ironically, no. It says from the entertainment division primarily, which is interesting because we've argued about the Disney Plus, they're just whoring themselves out. Well, at
Yeah.
least Chapek was on the streaming. Like that's what started the whole thing, right?
Yeah, Chapek, this mess that Chapek, and how long was he CEO? 2 years?
Couple of years, yeah.
And I
Well,
remember when he got his
he
extension.
was just a figurehead. He wasn't really
Right,
CEO.
and I remember the D23. So you also get this great magazine, 150
that, that
bucks.
is sealed.
Yeah, that I haven't even read yet,
Right,
and it's been here for like 3 months, but Chapek did so much damage to those parks
right.
that it'll be years before it's corrected. Bob Iger isn't gonna be able to fix it.
No, it's
He's only focused on Disney Plus.
right, but again, it's I was that was the one part of this article I read today. Just can't hit the headlines today. Is this Christine McCarthy who you had quoted before?
Mhm.
She was talking
About the
about all the
food.
and all the it won't hurt these overweight customers we
Exact
have to
No, our customers will appreciate less calories.
correct.
Calling us
Right.
fat.
Right. Let's get a look at, let's get a look at her. But the Paul brings up a good point. What about all the deferred maintenance at these parks? This makes me think of the pantyhose in the rock pile.
Oh, man. We
Whatever. The
Dan and I
goldfish in the rock pile or
Yeah,
whatever you want
Dan
to
and
call it
I are walking up to Spaceship Earth, which is, the big
at
the
Epcot.
everybody
Yeah. It's
calls
the
it the Epcot
centerpiece of
Ball.
Epcot Center,
Right.
right.
We're walking up, and all of a sudden,
Kevgret in the house.
yeah, all of a sudden we get stuck at this one spot,
Hmm.
and we look over, and down below, there was a nylon stocking and one goldfish cracker just sitting there. I mean, you would have never, ever seen that under Eisner's watch. Somebody would have
No.
got fired for that. Like the
Yes.
supervisor of that
Or
ride would have been fired.
or his watch.
And I know about getting fired at Disney.
Or his watch. Yes, you do, for sleeping under a tree.
Yeah, but I wasn't working for Disney at the time. Now I
Well,
brought some receipts. Can I
okay.
can I do this now?
Yeah, bring up the receipts.
Okay.
Now, before you get into the receipts,
Okay.
because Kevgret says they drained profits from the parks to make up the loss from Disney
He's
Plus and
absolutely
ESPN.
right.
Well, there's no losses happening at Disney. Let's be clear
No.
about that. They reported earnings in, I think, almost $24 billion, which exceeded what the projections
Expectation.
were. Right.
Right.
And if you read this article that came out today, one of the things that they commented on was this some backlash that had happened during the Super Bowl when Disney, if those of you that watched the Super Bowl and watched the commercials, remember seeing 100-year celebration commercial that cost them over $7 million
That's
for the Super Bowl.
insane.
How many jobs could be saved of the 4,000 they're about to terminate for one Super Bowl spot,
And I
right?
told you about the Oscars.
It's
They ran a
obnoxious.
commercial for Little Mermaid at the Oscars. How did he pull that off? How much did that cost?
Right.
Right? Um,
Yeah,
Here
Kev
we
Gretz
go.
says every new ride breaks down every hour. Star Wars: Rise of the Resistance, lucky to get 4 showings before breakdown.
Yep.
Yep, it's true.
So here's the receipts. For people who think I'm just, nuts and I don't know what I'm talking about. This is Cinderella. And I only had the box set. So it's like a
Is
bureau.
Cinderella literally in there? I mean, what the hell is in that box? It's huge.
It's like, it's like a dresser,
Oh yeah.
and you
Okay.
open it, has
Jesus.
all the movies in it. So
Okay.
classic, right? Classic Disney movie, Cinderella. Okay.
Mhm.
Not classic Cinderella live action. We don't need it. We saw it. I lost you, Dan.
I'm here.
Are you there?
Yeah, he does this thing, folks, where like it's called a screensaver, and
No,
he goes into
like
some abyss, and he literally is gone. So, guys, this is what you got to deal with when you're trying to run a podcast with your brother, and he has no idea what's going on. So I'm sure you guys can recognize the scrambling that's going on behind the scenes right now with him. I can't wait to hear the expletives that come out when he's trying to figure out what the deal is. Have you guys been out to either the West Coast or East Coast parks, like in the recent post COVID or sometime in the recent, years? When's the last time any of you guys have visited the parks?
that was Disney fucking with me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, no, I was just saying. I was sure you were losing your mind there
Okay.
for a minute. So, okay, so Disney, you're talking about the live action. Yeah,
Okay.
nobody needs it,
That's one.
etc.
Okay.
Right.
Classic film. Jungle Book, right?
Yeah.
Great songs, great music.
Bring on the Rock. Oh, Jungle Book, right. So I'm thinking Jungle Cruise. Yeah.
Live action Jungle Book with Maui. I really want to see him live.
Yes.
Classic, right?
Lion King. Yeah.
Lion King. Look, it's not even open,
Yeah.
right? I have like every Disney film.
I wouldn't know because I'm into digital media, but
Not classic.
yeah, I didn't mind.
We already
the film,
see
but
it. We already
yeah.
seen it. We seen it.
Yeah.
We loved it. We hate this one.
Yeah.
Okay. Classic. Angela Lansbury singing
Yes.
To Them Dancing. Classic.
Yes.
Not classic. And I love Emma Watson,
Yes.
but she had to be auto-tuned so much you couldn't even make out the songs.
Right.
Okay. Classic. Right. I'm
Yep.
not even pulling out the
You get
one-
into is this Cruella then coming? I love how you own them all though. This is the funny
I know.
thing.
I
You own them
know.
all.
And you know what? The latest one that came up, and I have the VHS too. The
Mhm.
latest one that came out, didn't buy it. Strange
Yeah.
World, fuck you. I'm not
Right.
buying it.
now you're
Oh, I'm
getting
live.
into stuff. This is fighting words right here. what you
Okay,
got going on.
Mulan, right? Great animated.
Yeah, of course. Classic.
Okay, I love Michelle Yao, not classic.
Okay, first of all, it's racist because what's Michelle Yao got to do with it?
She just wasn't good in it.
She wasn't in it. She wasn't
I
in
thought
it.
She was.
Jesus.
I thought she was. I'm sorry.
That's a classic. That's what you call an "Oh Brother" blooper, folks.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
what you call that.
Okay.
Well,
I'm not
Mulan,
done.
we have a difference of opinion. Mulan is our highest viewed YouTube video all time, almost at 13,000 views. If you haven't seen that conversation between the brothers, that's one you might want to check out.
Yeah,
It's worth it.
That and Emancipation. Okay.
So, okay.
Classic.
Right.
Classic. Stupid.
Okay. I'm going to run out of internet
We're
coverage
on it.
here. How
Wait a
long?
second.
How many more you got?
I'm going to show you what's coming to a theater near you soon.
Yeah, Kev Gart
Okay?
wants you to unseal the movies on the stream.
Okay. Little Mermaid, right?
Yes.
Coming next month.
This is a lot of controversy here.
Rexer, oh man, he should have been here for the rant.
Yeah.
Okay. Snow White.
Yes.
Coming soon to a theater near you, live action version. We
Of
don't
course.
fucking need it. Peter Pan. It's called Peter and Wendy.
Yes.
Coming soon to a theater near you.
Yes.
Here's one of my favorites.
Gee, I love that you're swimming in all this shit. That's what I
Here's
love.
one of my favorites,
Yeah,
right?
Aladdin, right.
Classic. Robin
Yes.
Williams is the genie. Great voice, great singing.
Right.
Will Smith is the genie?
Well,
we don't fucking need it.
Yeah, but the scene where he slaps the shit out of Jafar, that was pretty good.
Well, okay.
Let's be honest. That was
And
good stuff.
how long before they announce live action Frozen? Fuck. I'm sorry, those F-bombs. We're gonna get a
Now, did you
a
say
notice.
Haunted Mansion? Did you make
Oh no, I haven't even get there.
Yeah,
right?
Haunted
Peter
Mansion,
and
which we got a
Wendy.
first look coming out on Haunted Mansion. You're gonna love that.
This is what's coming.
The first look that wasn't a first look.
Yeah, Peter Pan and Wendy, Little Mermaid,
Yeah.
Haunted House,
Right.
Snow White,
Right.
Lilo and Stitch,
That's embarrassing.
live action.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
And I got Frozen written down because I know they're working on it right now.
Yeah, do you want to answer Paul's question here? It's a great one, which is how do you categorize all these effing movies?
Well, I have these racks. You can see the ones behind me, and they're all organized in different ways.
Right.
All my Disney films, and it's over 500, are over in the corner over
And they're
here.
alphabetized.
And they're alphabetized.
So I always love it when you get like a new, like Cinderella.
Yeah.
You got to shift everything to the.
It's a pain in
Jesus,
the
It's a
ass.
month and a half. It takes you.
So like behind me,
Digital
I have
media, folks.
the tallest rack is Criterion Collection.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably true. Mike's
I'm
not
gonna
open.
sell them. I'm gonna sell them.
I don't know about that.
But I have them organized by Blu-ray and now by 4K. I have them organized by TV shows. I have them organized by Christmas.
So are you trying to tell us then? Are we to believe that after all of these new live action come out on
I'm
4K,
not buying them. Not buying them.
Let's get a poll going.
I'm
folks.
done.
How many
I'm
folks
done.
believe what Mike is selling right now? I don't buy it. So not the Dewey Decimal System. You're not. No, Mike's retired that for his. That went out with Betamax, I think. It's a recycling program with Disney, and it's like I told you.
Oh wait, I got to stop you because Kevgret knows
the
this.
HD DVD.
I have a DVD because I thought that was going to be better.
You
than
were the
Blu-ray.
only adopter that stuck with it. Yeah.
Kev did too. Kev's got some. Kev, I should send mine to you, honestly, because I don't even. Have
I told you
anymore.
this
well,
when I went out to Universal recently.
Yeah,
and I was getting ready to leave for the day, and was in the old Universal section. The original Universal
that we used
park.
to go to.
Not Islands of Adventure and all that stuff now, but where Terminator 3D, right? Was it Terminator?
Yeah, it was
3D?
Terminator 2.
You're right.
Terminator 2.5
in 3D.
It was 2.5.
Yeah, and it was an awesome show. And as I'm walking by, I recognized that location of where that show was.
Yeah,
and it says the Bourne Stunt-tacular. So I went in. This was one of the best shows I've seen in years. And they being in the theater, some of it was familiar, but there was so much of it that was new. And I'm thinking, like, this is what Disney doesn't know how to do. Like, reskinning. Think about what is coming with Splash Mountain.
It's going to be Tiana, Princess and the Frog.
Correct.
And who has seen that other than your kids?
Right. And it's a fluid ride at the end of the day. Like, how much different is that experience going to be?
He's asking me where my HD TV is. It's
yeah.
like literally in a corner.
Yeah.
Where I have a bunch of blank, empty cases in case a case cracks.
Yes.
That's how anal I am. I'll change it out. Hey, Tiana.
Hey, Tiana. How you doing? Good to see you.
While I was on this, what we just saying, I was on this rant. Oh, hey, Kong.
Yes.
We went out the opening of Kong.
You talking about
original
the ride?
Kong? Yes.
Confrontation.
Right. We waited. This is the longest wait we ever waited for a ride.
Right.
And I remember we were like going through the New York set that they had. And we kept hearing people getting off the ride clapping.
Mhm.
And I'm like, geez, they just waited over 2 hours and
Right.
they're clapping. So we go on it. It was great. I mean, fantastic. It was their most popular ride. When the new Kong came out, what's it called? Like King Kong
S
and Samuel Jackson
Oh,
Lives?
the Skull Island or whatever?
Skull, yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's it, Skull
Yeah,
Island.
Skull Island, yeah.
Kong Skull Island.
Yes.
So they rip out that great ride and they put in a new one, which I haven't seen yet. Maybe we'll catch it in
Yeah,
a
when
couple
you're
of
here.
weeks.
Right, right.
But that's what you do. You stay ahead of the curve. Don't
Mhm.
keep like Disney. I can name every ride in Epcot. Living Seas, the land, the Universe of Energy is now gone. The only new ride in Epcot in 25 years,
Guardians of the Galaxy,
Guardians of the Galaxy, which is what, 3 hour wait?
at
Um,
least, yeah.
no longer World of Motion, but Test Track, stale, old, done.
Right.
There used to be a ride called Horizon.
Yep, that was great.
It's an empty building.
Yeah.
Now, Universal stays ahead of the curve. They bring it out when you still
Well,
like the other one.
and they've got the Epic Universe under construction right now, and, I don't know what Disney's gonna do when that thing comes online in, what, early 2025, I think is what they're projecting
All of
for
a
that?
sudden, season tickets are going to be back, and you're going to see some who it depends on who takes over. We don't know
Right.
yet. And if
Right.
it's Josh tomorrow, I don't think he's got it. I
Yeah.
don't think he's got that vision.
Well, and another example is just a god awful Galactic Star Cruiser,
Oh my God, is that a
which
mess?
again, another headline is, and you said this recently, it's down to sort of like, they're paying you to come and stay at this thing now.
The only ones that are going on it
It's
are travel
You
agents.
can literally book a stay for tomorrow
Exactly. And
if
it's
you want.
10 grand a night.
And clearly what's happening is they are just slowly phasing it out, and then they're going
It's
to
going to be
demolish
gone.
that piece of shit and it's going
Yep.
to be gone. And then hopefully they'll put all that shit back into Galaxy's Edge where it should have been in the first place, cuz
Right.
you'll be hard pressed to find,
A
any
character.
character walking
Right.
through there.
When it first opened, you were kind of into it because they had like stormtroopers that would come up and talk to you, like
Yeah.
you're part of the resistance.
Yeah.
That's gone.
Well, hey, listen, a couple things. So first, backing up a second, Rexer says, I still don't understand live action. How is it different from their older movies?
Well, the older movies are animated, they're hand drawn.
Mhm.
Pixar's different, it's done with computers, but a
Right.
Disney classic movie is hand drawn. Live action means they're real actors, like Beauty and the Beast, was hand drawn.
Yeah.
The new Beauty and the Beast is live people doing the same show, the same movie,
Yeah.
shot by shot. Why?
I love this comment, maybe the comment of the night from Kevgret, which is just tell Disney you have a YouTube channel with 117 subs and they will invite you for the week. Yeah, it's actually probably true now.
That is. That's
As
why we
sad
don't
as
have
that
any
is to
arcade
say.
one-ups.
Yeah, I haven't checked. Maybe we're up to 118. Who knows? And Paul, why should they do better? You're right. I mean, they're making a profit,
It's a
so
good
there's
point.
really not a lot of incentive. And Iger's argument here, the statement from on high about these 4,000 people that are about to lose their jobs next month, while he gets fatter and fatter, and
Yeah,
his wallet continues to grow, is he's looking to save the company still another $5+ billion.
right.
Save them from what?
Be for the bonuses for the execs. That's why Michael
The
Eisner got
golden
fired.
parachutes. The golden
Yeah.
parachutes.
Chapek flew out of there with millions,
Yeah.
trust me.
Right.
I couldn't believe when I watched CNN and they said, "Disney has, made Bob Chapek. They've
Mhm.
offered him a 3-year extension." I almost lost my mind,
Yeah.
and I instantly called you like, "Chapek? What?" We
Yeah.
thought he was I held up the D23 stuff. Now Eisner always came on stage and would announce coming attractions. We're going to
Mhm.
build a new thing here. We're going to build a movie, MGM Studios. We're going to build that. Chapek would not come out on D23 because he was afraid he would get booed.
Yeah,
And
and
that
he
was in
would.
all the papers.
Yeah, because he's been booed multiple times before.
Yeah, he's used to it.
We see that.
And
I
and the
think
and the
I think
board
he
of
was booed at the
directors
opening of Galaxy's Edge, as a
the
matter of
board of
fact.
directors gives him a 3-year extension
Yeah, it's funny.
after that.
I had mentioned Universal. I was out at Universal another time recently and had engaged with some people from their training division. And they gave this whole presentation
It
to
it's
to my team about the universal way, right? And it was all the things that you would expect, which is,
right.
they understand how there's people that are going there that have saved up for
Correct.
years for this once in a
One
lifetime,
vacation.
one vacation, and they want to make it memorable, and they have a part to play in that, no matter what role you have at the parks.
Yeah, you can go to
And
Europe now
and
cheaper
that
than you go
used
to
to be
Disney.
Disney.
Yeah,
And now they could give a shit less. And I don't blame the employees, at least not the hourly employees that we engage with when we're at the park,
right.
that are doing all the jobs that most people
You know,
don't want to do.
step to the left, step to the
Yeah.
left,
And
step to
and
the
they
left,
and you
step to
should
the
see them
left.
there. They're all, I mean, they just, you can tell they don't want to be there.
Right.
I've caught numerous employees there having side chats complaining about this, that, or the other with
Yeah.
work, because
And you know
they're
what,
not being
Paul?
motivated,
You know what, Paul?
and they're in fear.
The reason they should do better is because of loyal people like us.
Hmm.
That's why they should do better. They
Yeah.
should reward us every year. I lived in Florida for 9 years. Every year I bought a season ticket. It cost me 150 and 86, and they were
Hmm.
just about to add the movie studio. So that was in 89, it was a few years.
Yeah, and I love this. It's, yeah. Imagine spending all that money, like we said, you're saving up for years and years on this
Yes.
once in a lifetime experience, and there's no guarantee you're going to be able to ride the best rides.
Right, and Kev Gret brings up a good point about the $25 to
Correct.
ride.
The
If you don't
genie
pay the
bullshit.
Genie Pass, if
Yes.
you don't buy a Genie Pass, which lets you cut the line sort of,
Hmm.
you have to wait in 2, 3 hours.
Right.
How many rides are you gonna get in one day? Because they keep cutting the hours. When I worked there, Epcot was open till midnight every night
Hmm.
during the summer.
Yeah.
Now they're open past 9 twice.
I mean, what does it say that, again, I'm a pass holder. I live 10 minutes from the parks,
Yeah,
and I've been maybe twice this year.
yeah. And you know, every time we'd go out, what would we do? We would buy shit.
Yes.
We would spend money. We would always have to buy a drink. You're in Florida. They don't let you
Mhm.
bring in drinks, or you can't bring in a cooler.
Right.
So you have to eat there if you're going to spend the whole day. The kids are going, the one thing about Disney, like you stay there, if you're at night for the fireworks,
Yeah.
look around the street, forget the fireworks, watch the crowd. All the kids are asleep in their strollers.
Mhm.
Some of them are crying. Couples
Mhm.
are bitching at each other because
Yeah.
they've spent a whole day in the sun, sweating their ass off, trying to run from ride to make it. It's a shit show. It's
Yeah.
I apologize for all my profanity tonight, but I was riled up
No,
on
these guys
this.
are used to it from the Rexer show. But it's yeah, that's why they get away with it. You're absolutely right, because people still
Yeah,
show up.
the
Still
popcorn
show up.
buckets,
They
that's
don't
the
they
latest
don't
thing.
they don't give a shit about us.
No,
I mean, it's nothing to
they
them.
already got our money.
Yes. And like I just said, I can't do anything with this pass now. I'm stuck, and
And
so it is what it
my
is.
one-day ticket, okay, my one-day ticket, how much did that
It
cost?
was over $200. Right.
$220
And
for 1 day.
right, and the reservation process, right? You gotta reserve a park to go
Right.
to, and then you gotta stay in that park until 2 in the afternoon before you can jump to any other parks. I'm paying hundreds of fucking dollars for this pass as a Florida resident. I should be able to go whenever I want.
Now, Dan never swears, so it's like,
It's just so infuriating, and
get
I
your
don't
mic
know, like
back.
Kev Gret mentioned
Bring your
Kev Gret
mic back.
oh, into my mind.
Yeah.
Kev Gret mentioned Iger being the bridge to the next great leader. I've not seen no signs of where that person might
And
be.
this is the thing about Iger. And Kevgret
Yeah.
obviously knows about Disney because he knows who these people are.
Hmm.
And I worked for Eisner, and the reason they fired him is because he cut a deal for stocks. He would get paid in stock.
Yeah.
Instead of taking a salary, he would take, whatever percentage of stock, and he made 88 million one year. Well, fuck, he earned it. They
Right.
fired him for making 80 million because it made all the papers.
Hmm.
Eisner gets paid 80. He earned it. Now, Iger, he, Chapek has destroyed Epcot. Epcot was going to be fresh and new. It's old and stale
And
still.
you have to lay it at his feet because he was the one in charge.
He was in charge when all this, and they didn't even do maintenance during the pandemic. So
Right.
Phantasmic,
Right.
which is one of
Right.
their best shows,
Yeah. Yeah.
went to shit. They had to rebuild the whole show
Yeah.
because they didn't even do maintenance.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
but anyways, let me
yeah.
finish this Iger point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Iger is a good businessman. He
Yeah.
saved the Pixar deal, which Eisner didn't love. Eisner, and I think it's because they were both visionaries,
Hmm.
but Eisner and Steve Jobs were like this,
Yeah.
and they couldn't get the Pixar deal done. And Iger came in and saved that deal. Imagine if Disney didn't have Pixar.
Right. And then
Those
you
movies I
can
just went
tally
through.
up all the other acquisitions that he
Right,
was responsible
Lucas.
for. Yeah, Lucasfilm,
Lucas.
the biggest one. You get
But
Marvel and the others.
he's not a visionary.
No.
It doesn't take vision to say, let's build a Star Wars lands, create it, guys. And they did a shitty job.
Yeah, I was going to respond to Paul's comment here, but Kevgret beat me to it. Which that's all you need to know about Lassiter and what happened with him.
Exactly.
He's now with Skydance Productions producing shit for Apple TV. So
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you want to find his work, that's where he's at. But he won't be coming around anytime soon.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I don't know. I mean, it's when you get here, are we still gonna? Is that it? Are we still gonna find a way to go to the parks? I mean, there's
we're
still,
going to Universal.
yeah. We got 2 days now booked to go to Universal,
Yeah.
right? And that experience is so much different. You go into that wizarding world of Harry
I
Potter.
haven't been to that yet.
And I will say, because I have since been there, and I wasn't a fan of the books or the movies, and I've since seen a handful of them, but that's how you do it, and Universal is just leading the way right now.
Yeah. And this, by the
He's
way, 'cause
pulling his shit back out.
this
Oh,
is
okay.
what.
So this is the D23 package.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Right.
you see there's pins
Yes.
from all the different parks. Now,
Right.
Dan, who's been to every Disney park in the world?
Not me.
Me,
Yeah.
except for Shanghai, which just opened.
Right.
Well, maybe a year ago, but it was during the pandemic, so I'm
Yeah.
not flying to China and eating raw bats.
Well, it's been
They fry them.
refuted now. Isn't
That
it?
is true. No, that's true. Hong Kong, if you go to open air market, man, oh man, get ready to lose your lunch.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know.
That was a box,
There's
Paul.
still a way for us to go.
If you pay. Actually,
yeah.
I was livid after the text, and of course I had to let mother know.
Which text?
When I was texting Disney when you were calling him, I
Right.
was so mad. I went into her room
Right.
and I'm going at her. I'm not yelling at her, but I'm yelling about what's going on. And I'm like, it's a shit show, Ma. I can't believe how bad it is. Remember, I used to love it. I
She's
used
like,
to go
I'm
there.
87 years old. I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
For Christ's sake.
she's looking at me like, what are you, insane? Did I?
We didn't talk about this, and I don't want to get into this whole other side of it, but there is this other sort of political backdrop, right, to what's going on down here. I mean, all you got to say is Florida, and most people know have a hint of what's going on down here.
Yeah.
You look at Reedy Creek and that issue that just went down with
Correct.
DeSantis and Reedy Creek, and so I don't know to what degree that has any impact or influence on the things we're talking about that are Disney related. I suppose it could, but
It doesn't even go into effect for 2 years. So.
no, that doesn't, right? But I just wonder how much of this is the political arena that
But
they find themselves in.
And to answer Paul's question, asked me what I had, and it was a
Oh, yeah, yeah.
D23. This is you get a gift. And I thought I was getting a silver Mickey. Okay.
Mhm.
Stupid. But I got this, which is last year's gift. And what's in here is pins from each one of the Disney parks. I already
Nice.
got them.
Yeah. Well,
I've
send
got
that
them.
shit
I
to
went
me.
there.
Send that shit to
I'm
me.
bringing this your way.
Oh, is that what the surprise is?
No,
Oh,
no.
okay. Oh.
Um,
Are you
but
bringing me an arcade one up? Just you can say it.
if you're lucky,
Okay.
and I'll get you one that
Is
might
what you're
even get.
bringing? Are you bringing something like in your suitcase or something?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay. So it fits. It's bigger than a bread box. Okay.
yeah. It's kind of a birthday
You
kind of
know,
thing.
Kev Gretz got there. You go, right there. eBay. Boom.
Yeah,
Done and
I
done.
I know, like the Disney. I've bought in 3 versions.
Hmm.
Like I'll buy the steel book, and then I'll buy the regular, and then
Yeah.
I'll buy the storybook.
All
I know
right.
I'm out of my skull. I'm
Now
out of
I
my
have to.
skull.
I
I'm
guess
out of my skull.
in full transparency, I have to say I'm actually gonna be at Disney next week.
You're you're kidding me.
I'm not. I'm not kidding you.
Why?
I'm not paying for it, but I'm going. I can't really give the details, but
Now,
I'm gonna be going there for
when I worked for
an event.
Disney, the first thing when you get hired, they send you to what they call Disney University. I don't know if
Yes.
they do it
It's
anymore.
right down the street.
Okay. Well, it wasn't a separate building. You know, it wasn't a big deal, but
Oh, it's huge.
you spend 2 weeks literally learning how many toilets there are
Mhm.
in Epcot. Where's the nearest baby changing station? I
Right.
mean, they grill you on the names of the 7 dwarfs.
Yeah.
And then after that 2 weeks, you go into a training program. And me and my buddy had this 12-page speech we had to memorize
Let's listen to the land we all
in the
love.
land.
Yeah.
And by the end of the day, we had no voice. And none of us, because we went till midnight.
Yeah.
And but it was fun. Then we would leave the park and we were like walking around Disney World with untethered. I can remember he had a girlfriend. She dunked her head in one of the ponds that floats
Mhm.
the water and stuff. I mean, we used to have fun. We worked in the land, and I can remember we snuck in and we stole a banana to see if they were really edible.
Yeah, it's just an entirely different experience. There's no magic there at all. I mean, the
Yeah,
last time I was there, I think I said to you as I was leaving, and I was there for as long as it takes to walk around the World Showcase at Epcot Center. That's how long I was there. I went
yeah,
in, and the other part of this too, because it's all a money grab, like everywhere
yeah,
you look, and you know this now too. They've created a season for everything. It's the festival of the this and the festival of the that and the parade of that. It like there's all of these, right? The food and wine, the arts festival, and all this shit, which is nothing but food vendors
yeah.
and
And
people
it's
hawking their wares.
all the space is taken up by these booths,
Yeah,
so
it
it
becomes
takes you an
very now,
hour.
and it's already crowded enough. And that's the other thing too. The parks are so friggin' crowded now.
Yeah.
It's
It's not a fun experience.
forget about waiting in line. A line for a ride. It's just the crowds in general roaming through the place.
Yeah.
It's
And
insane.
like I said, like right now is a nice time to go because it's kind of cool, but when it's hot,
Wait, 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 wait,
you
wait. There's no Santa? Mike,
what?
come on.
Well,
All these years, I
you
thought
know.
you had my back.
I
The
remember
cat's out of the
I
bag. You didn't
remember
tell
me
me
and my
this.
older brother, we used to have Christmas in the front room, and then we
Yeah,
moved it to downstairs. And
right.
we had to wait for you and our sister to go to sleep because mom and dad were gone. They weren't
Yeah,
being parents
had the
anymore.
sheet hung up and all of
I was
that.
the parent.
Yeah.
And me and my older brother are putting all stuff up. And all of a sudden I see footsteps and it's Dan. And I have to do $1.50 and pick you up and
Yeah.
put you back in bed.
I remember finding that out. I can remember being in the kitchen and like the emotional letdown that it was, mom and
Uh,
dad and all that shit.
you know what? And we'll end with this because this is kind of funny with Oh Father. Dad is standing there and yeah, the USMC proud Marine. He's
Yes.
so proud because he's a
Semper
veteran.
Fi.
He's a veteran of the Korean War and a veteran of Vietnam. Yeah, I guess Vietnam
Yeah,
and
Vietnam
Korea.
and Korean, yeah.
So,
No, World War One.
yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm like,
Yeah, he
okay,
was
which one was it? But anyway, we're standing there and we're talking about. I saw mom. I mean the non-sleeper.
Mm,
I had insomnia since I was a kid.
right.
I was wide awake, and mom comes in and she plants chocolate bunnies around the room. And then she leaves and she's hiding eggs. You remember you hide the eggs and the
Yeah.
kids and we find them.
The plastic
Well,
eggs with the
exactly. And they would
coins
have
in it and
prizes in it.
chocolate and shit, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Maybe a
I,
ticket to Disney if you were lucky enough.
I said to dad the next day, and my older brother, who's 2 years older than me, is with me. And I said, Dad, you know what? I saw mom come in and put those Easter bunnies. You're the Easter bunny. And he was like, "Well, who do you think Santa is?" And I'm like, "Dad,
Yeah,
Jesus, I
she
said the Easter bunny.
right.
You ruined the whole thing for me." And
Just
my brother, my older brother, is like, "What? You ruined it for me. It was just
you brought us right back to the cream eggs, just the way we started. That's a good the loop back around to
that's the
where we
way to
started.
end it."
All right. Yeah, I mean this could be just multiple. This could be a weekly segment talking about this with all the new, shit that's coming out and what's happening with this company, but it's real depressing. Now, I don't know. What do I do with this pass? Do I just not go out of protest? What am I supposed to do?
See,
I just renewed the son of a bitch in November.
I know. I would
And I was
probably
so close to saying, the hell with it. And they
be,
got me again.
because every time I visit, I want to go and see what's new because
And that's out now. That's,
right.
again, you have to make a whole second
I
trip in the
should
fall
have
or something.
I should have checked with and you didn't think of this either. I was throwing dates
I
at you,
didn't. I
and
didn't.
I just said the first week of April,
Right. And that's the
right?
way it should be. I
Yeah.
shouldn't have to. Oh, let me
So,
check the blackout dates calendar for this pass that I'm
correct.
paying, giving a kidney for
And when you
Christ's
were an
sake.
employee, your employee ID got you in 365. There were
Yeah.
no blockout dates for employees. Now employees can't even get in on their days off.
Right.
There's blockout dates for them. So,
Yeah, it's really sad. I mean, if anybody is contemplating, putting their money towards one of these trips here, because again, for me,
it's a very
I
expensive
have the
trip.
luxury of like it's right there. I probably know somebody that knows somebody that can get me in. If push comes to shove, I can go.
Yeah.
But it's crazy as a pass holder. I've got no interest in, and I could almost walk to the parks. I'm
The
that close.
last time I was there, I was excited because they were gonna redo Epcot.
Yeah,
There was a whole bunch of
right,
projects
right.
that were in the works. The
And about
pandemic
all you're gonna
hits.
get now is a bronze statue of this guy out back of
Yeah.
Epcot. That's about the only
And
thing
by
you're
the
gonna get.
way, Disney is not 100 years old. Walt would have turned 100. He was
Mhm.
0 when, he didn't create Mickey Mouse when he was 0. So stop saying it's
Oswald.
the 100th
Yeah.
100th anniversary. It isn't.
This is a good time to wrap it up because I hear
Yeah.
the fireworks going off actually right now at the
Yeah.
parks, which is I'm not kidding either. I can see that literally from my apartment. Well, appreciate you guys being here with us and hanging out. We'll be back live again next week, and then we've got some treats coming this week. We've got a new episode coming out tomorrow night, I believe. That'll be hitting the YouTube channel. I've got some more first looks that are coming out. Some Disney, we won't go so far as to not do a first look on. We got a Haunted Mansion first look that's coming up, so you'll see that coming too. But we appreciate the support, honestly, even if
Me
it's
too, Paul.
whether it's nobody or 6 people. I think this is maybe the biggest crowd we've had, to be
Yeah.
honest with you, at any given
Thanks,
point.
Kev.
So, yeah, thanks, Kev. Good to have you in here. Some great points, great comments. Appreciate the interaction. It's been a lot of fun.
I apologize for my profanity.
Again,
Rexer sometimes he has a son, Chase, who's really cute. And he
yeah,
comes into the streams once in a while. I don't want to hear him saying, saying F Mickey.
Yeah, we're really not. That's not, that's not who we are. But this topic in particular
Yeah,
kind of
this
really ruffles our feathers.
this got me
So,
worked up.
yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it for another episode of the Oh Brother Podcast. Been your host, Dan Smith. Alongside me, as always, my brother from the same mother, Mike Smith. And we're going to fucking see you next time.
Bye, everyone. Wow.